I am Sandra from Plum Good Quilting, and I hope you're ready to applique with Silhouette. This morning I thought I would show you a beautiful new fabric that should be coming in today called Evergreen by Basic Gray of Moda. This background just caught my eye because I love beautiful backgrounds, but her colors are lovely. Um, the the options are endless because there's quite a few pieces to this group, and I thought today I'd give you a few hints about how to grow your library. Each time you purchase something from Silhouette or you find some element online that you really like, save it in an element folder in your fabrics or in your library parts, because you're going to find that you can use many different elements from many different file folders to make the simplest little designs. Let me point out what I've got here. Berries, easy to come by because you do have an ellipse tool. All these flowers, there are endless flower drawings online that are available to you. There are leaves that are already connected to stems. You can even make your own. There are single leaves that you can use. There are stems that came with other things that maybe didn't fit quite right, and you decided to, like I did, I welded these two together so they give me some angle. And this one came from that same group, and I just used it singly. I took two leaves and put a large berry in between it for a decoration on the bowl, and made some of the berries smaller and some of them larger. Anything it takes to make the group look nice. And if you want ideas for how to do any kind of flower arrangements, you can always go to floral sites to see how they've tilted their stems and that kind of thing. Kind of study a few things that maybe you're a natural at it. Sometimes that's just the way it is. But I wanted you to see that you have so many things at your hands to work with all of this. It's just a shame if you're not trying and playing. But another element that I wanted to show in this is that when I was working on this, I noticed right away that if I didn't, let's take this background off right here. It's a shame, it's so pretty. But when I looked at this, I thought, I love the background, but the flowers just weren't showing up quite enough for them to pop off that applique block. So I decided a big stitch would work really well around this. So after I had completed this complete arrangement, I went up to the excuse me, the line color window, and I just started messing around with some of the colors. I did a green, and you can see it has a nice green around it. But what I noticed is, with the background behind it, it just didn't show up, just like you can see here. It barely shows up against the other green. So we knew we didn't want to go that route. Orange has absolutely no color to it there. It's not going to pop off the page. Black seems to be a pretty standard color for getting these to really look nice. So now that I've picked black, and I'm going to use a pearl cotton, probably an 8 or a 12 weight, I will hand stitch those on. Now what I wanted to show you was that if I choose, originally I had this around it, a solid black line, and then I put this one around it. And I thought, oh, well, that kind of looks like I stitched around it with my sewing machine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just that I think I'd like something to look like my personal hand touch to this one. So I added a little wider spacings, and I really, really like those. But if I want to go larger, I can go very large, and this really looks folksy. Okay, it's a much bigger stitch that's going to give you a real country look to whatever you're working on. This one has your stitches much closer together, but the stitches are longer than the previous. So you can see in this one, again, it looks a little bit more like you've done it on the machine with just a wider stitch. So my personal preference was this one. And then when I placed my background behind it, I no longer had to worry about what I was going to do with this. It just popped off the page because it's separated from the background and made the background stand alone, and I think that gave it a much nicer look. This little bowl was nothing. It was an ellipse tool that I took, and all I did was make a little oval here, and I want to kind of keep it away from I've got going here because I certainly don't want to mess up anything with my cutting tool. I'd hate to cut my creation in half. But I started with this oval, and I went to my knife tool, and all I did was divide my little oval in half, let it process, go to the select tool, removed this part, and now I had the bowl that was ready. Put two leaves with a large berry in the center, and all of a sudden I had a bowl to complete what I was doing. Look at there, I ended up with one of my lines pulled down. But I think this with a very simple little idea to get a gorgeous little fabric like evergreen. I don't know what you're going to want to do with yours, but I have to tell you, I just personally love it when I have some pretty fabric in, and I've already kind of made an idea what it is I'm going to do with it, and it only took me about 15 minutes to make that choice, and I didn't have to walk around the room looking for everything that I was going to do. I'll probably add some alternate blocks to these, but as a beautiful table runner, our wall quilt, our bed runner, it could just be a beautiful addition to your Christmas decor. I hope you'll look at Evergreen by Basic Gray and try the elements that you have available to you to create your own designs. Have a wonderful day, and it's about time to start getting ready for Christmas, believe it or not. We'll have a wonderful time playing